Let's get some analysis from Amira Elghawaby, who is a human rights advocate. She joins us now from Ottawa in Canada. Amira, thanks so much for joining us here on TRT World. Firstly, as a Canadian and as a Muslim, what was your reaction to this devastating attack?
I was feeling, of course, a lot of shock and dismay at this news today. It's certainly something that no one ever wants to hear, that such a senseless attack on an innocent family, just out for a walk in their neighborhood. To be honest, when I heard the news and realized that it was hate-motivated attack, my hands were shaking for many hours. I was literally physically shook by what had transpired.
This is not the first time members of Muslim community in Canada have come under attack. We've seen this before. What can be done to prevent something like this never happen again?
Well, it's very difficult to say that we can prevent such a hateful attack, one that actually has spread terror within our communities. But what I can say is that we have received such an outpouring of love and support and solidarity from fellow Canadians, as we did previously in 2017 when there was an attack on a Quebec City mosque in which 6 worshippers were killed. And I think what we can learn from both of these tragedies is that we must come together as a society to speak out, of course, against hatred wherever we find it, but also we must really examine the underlying phenomenon that's leading people to commit such heinous acts. And one of the things that we know is that online hate is a problem. Now, we don't know if this was the cause for the accused in this situation, but what we do know is that online hate generally has been a really big problem in our country, and that we're waiting for the federal government to take action on it. In the meantime, we can also ask our elected officials to do more to ensure that when people come forward to report hate, that those who are accused of such any type of incident in which people are being targeted, that they are held fully accountable before the law. And then, of course, education and outreach and ensuring that, we build bridges across communities. During this pandemic, Asian Canadians have been targeted, in hate crimes. We've seen attacks against different communities as well. And so all of us really need to come together in Canada, elsewhere as well, cross those bridges and try to address these divisions in our society, and ensure that hate cannot take root and that we do our best to stand up against it.
Right. It is amazing to see all the Canadians standing united together in reaction to this attack. As always, somehow Canadians are really famous when it comes to coming together in the times of crisis. But I do want to talk specifically about Canada's Muslim community. What kind of an impact will this have on them, knowing that something like this happened just because of their faith?
I mean, after the Quebec City mosque attack in 2017, many people have shared, and I myself, would feel a bit worried, to be honest, when we would be in our places of worship, in our mosques, worried about, can there be another attack? This one feels that much more frightening in the sense of this family was, out in public. They were going for a walk. What more normal activity can anyone, engage in? And so for someone like myself, who is visibly Muslim, who wears a headscarf, who takes my children out for walks, it definitely adds that layer of anxiety now when I'm outside to think, is it possible? Can someone else who, has come to hate Muslims, can they do a similar attack? And I think we really have to, fight against those emotions, and remember that, this hopefully, is a one-off attack. Yes, hate crimes are sadly on the rise against various communities, including Canadian Muslims. But the vast majority of Canadians are loving, are good people who believe in diversity, who believe in, standing together with people from all backgrounds. This is what, is so important. And while Canada is certainly not perfect, we have much to do when it comes to addressing racism and discrimination. We still have a lot to be proud of. of in terms of the diversity of people that have come to call this country home. And so I really think that while it's a very scary time, we just have to keep remembering that by and large, Canada is a safe place, and it is a place that many of us are very proud to be a part of.
Amira Elghawaby, thanks so much for that insight. I really appreciate it. She's a human rights advocate. She was joining us from Ottawa in Canada.